everybody, this is Tesla for Drop Top Tees, and today we're going to do a video to show you how to change the spring on a Forge Wastegate Actuator. And we're going to do another video when we install this. I'll talk to you about why you might want to put one of these on your car, but for now I'm just showing you how to change the spring. But first, I need to give some props to a gentleman I met at a car show this weekend. Now, those of you who have 124s, especially in the US, know how frequently people will come up and ask you what your car is, or think it's an Alfa Romeo. God knows they come up with every possible thing except a Fiat. They will guess every car known to man except they never guess Fiat. Well, at the car show this weekend up in Wiley, Texas, a young gentleman walked up with his father. His name's Daniel. He's 9 years old. He walked up to our cars and told Jennifer as he walked up that he liked her a Bart 124 Spider. And we were like, wait a second, what? How does this little guy know what it is when nobody else in the whole world knows what the car is? So I just want to give him props. His dad says he watches some car shows on TV and he's really into cars. And it was just amazing that a 9-year-old boy actually knew not only that it was a 124 Spider, but from the logo he knew it wasn't a Bart, which is just awesome. So props to you, and I hope in 10, 15 years we get to see what your passion for cars has landed you in your garage when you come out to car shows. So great job, Daniel, you really impressed us. Now, so the wastegate actuator. When you buy one of these, and like I said, I'll get into more detail when I actually do this to put it on the car. But when you buy one, you can also buy a spring kit, which comes with a bunch of different colored springs. The reason you do this is because these springs have different strength, and they allow you to set your wastegate actuator to activate at different levels of boost. Now, per Euro Compulsion, and because I'm running a phase 2 Euro Compulsion tune, they recommend I install a yellow spring and set this to 15 psi. So what I have to do is on this side of the actuator, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3mm Allen wrench hexes. So I'm going to have to take these out. Now I'm doing this in a bucket because I'm prone to having things drop. And you can actually use a drill for this, but an impact wrench. But I tried it, and my bits, it rubs against here, so I don't want to mess that up. So I didn't try to jam them down in there. They don't have a lot of tension on them. They're really easy to break free. And a little caveat, you'll see there's a spring inside here. When I open up the last one, that spring is going to try to release its tension. So I'm going to have to be ready because it's going to try to pop apart. Some people recommend that if you have somebody available, you have somebody hold this together while you loosen everything up. You can see how easy that came loose. They aren't really torqued down very much at all. And I got one to go, so I'm going to hold the end down while I loosen this. And we'll see how much it went. Oh, I got 2 to go, I think. I got one more over on the other side. Okay, now when this one comes loose, it's going to try to pop apart. You can already feel it starting to press apart. Okay, Jennifer. Do you want to twist that? Twist what? Here, I got it. I'll do it. It takes a lot of pressure to hold it in. So now it's loose, and I'm just going to let it expand like this. Oh, it looks like it has a yellow spring on it already. Well, that's awesome. I didn't have to change it. But you still want to check. They don't all come with, you know what? I'm going to, because that's a different color. Now, in order to pull this out, I have to unscrew this. And then this just slides out like this. This comes off, the spring pulls out. Notice the wider end of the spring goes toward this low housing. All you do is slide it in, put this back on, slide it back through. And then screw this back on. These little pieces here we'll play with when we set the pressure, when we set the crack pressure. But for now I'm putting it back where it started off at. Now comes the hard part. You have to press this down hard enough to get this back on. This valve, this stem, this should line up. Easy to remember. Make them line up, you won't go wrong. I'm not even certain that it matters, but aesthetically at least it does. Okay, so I'm going to hold this down, and Jennifer's going to put the first one in. There really is a lot of tension on it. It's hard to do it with one hand. Okay, screw it down until you feel a little tension. And then put another one in over here by my thumb, on the other side of my thumb. Yeah, that'll work.
It doesn't have a ton of tension on it yet.
Doesn't
yeah,
matter. It doesn't torque down very hard. They just have it to where the threads ground. Man, after you do this one, we should be able to let go. Okay, now I can let go. But if you try to do it with your own hand, maybe if you're a champion wrist wrestler, you can do it. But yeah, that spring does exert a lot of tension on your wrist. Oops. Let me do it. Okay, you can hold it over there. And you can see those hex nuts sink down in about 1 millimeter or 2. And like I said, you don't really torque them down hard, just tighten them. At least that's how they came to me, so that's what I'm assuming they want. It doesn't come with instructions, so it doesn't give you a torque spec or anything. And there you go. We now have the correct yellow spring on it. These are lined up. We're ready to install it on the car. So, in a day or two, I will be putting this on Etsy, and I'll show you how to do everything except the crack pressure when we put it on, because I don't have anything to set it with. I'm going to have somebody do that for me. The company that did my Willwood big brakes are going to be putting on upgraded pads on my rear brakes probably next week, And when they do that, they're just going to throw in setting the crack pressure for this, because they have a full garage. They're set up just to whip this out in a couple minutes. So I'm going to let them do it for me, since I don't have a way to. All I have is a bicycle pump. I know I can do it with a bicycle pump, but I'm not really set up to do it right. I don't have the hoses or anything, so I'm just going to let them do it for me. So there you go. Changing out a spring, the hardest thing is putting this back together. If you have somebody else, you hold it down, they start 2 of the hex nuts, you're good to go. It's basically a 5-minute job. All you need, 3mm Allen wrench and your spring kit. If you like the video, thumbs up, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in a couple days.